Okay, so Microsoft just released a new AI model called a Microsoft AI Image 2, and obviously from the name alone we can infer that this is their second attempt to create an AI model for image generation. So apparently right now, after they just launched the model, this model ranked number 3 on Arena.ai. Now, in case you didn't know, Arena.ai is actually a place where you can test various AI model, including Gemini, ChatGPT, Seedream, Kling, etc. And in the leaderboard, apparently this model is ranking number 3, and that is actually really good because it is beating models like Black Forest Labs, Seedream, Reef, Grok, etc. So for a model that was released very recently, I think that's actually pretty good. Now it says ranking number 5, but that's because the other 2 places were occupied by the other variations of Gemini Nano Banana. So this actually ranked number 3, and that's actually a good sign, meaning that Microsoft actually has the capability to build a state-of-the-art AI model for image generation. And their emphasis on this new model is the realism in the picture. Now, if you open this blog post, this announcement, you'll see some examples of pictures that were created or generated by this new model. And I gotta say, I mean, if you're not providing any context, these could be mistaken as real photos, and also the model is able to render text on a picture. So definitely this is a model that I would say could compete against a GPT or even Gemini Nano Banana model. So the question is where you can access this model. Well, at the moment when I'm recording this video, there are a few platforms from Microsoft that lets you access the AI model, which is Microsoft AI Image 2. Now, depending on when you're watching this video and to some extent where do you live right now, you could start using this model in Copilot. Just navigate to copilot.microsoft.com and you can log in with your Microsoft account, and to generate a picture, just describe it and then you can click this plus button and then enable image generation. But this is not available in Copilot, at least in when I'm recording right now and in my current location. So maybe I have to wait a bit more. And also Microsoft says that the release of this model is going to be gradual. So some people might be able to generate images using this new model much later this year. So just be patient. Now, the second option or the second place that you can try this model is the Bing image generator platform. Just go to Bing, and then you can navigate to images, and yeah, you can click this button that says create. So this is a Bing image creation platform. So you can describe your picture, you can select aspect ratio, the number of images, and you can even upload other images for references. Now, as you can see, there is only Microsoft AI Image 1, that's the first model. I don't see the Image 2, and you can still access DALL-E 3 and GPT-4 also. So that's the other models that Microsoft usually rely in the past, but now they're trying to replace these models with their own in-house model. So you can try this, but as you can see again, there is no Image 2 model. So yeah, if you open this page and if you see the new model, then I guess you can start using it. But right now I cannot use the model because it is not yet available. Okay, so another place that is offering this model is actually a new platform, a new tool called Microsoft AI Playground, and that is quite similar to Google AI Studio, where you can play around with some models from Google. But of course, this is for the models that were created by Microsoft. So this is one example of AI Studio, and Microsoft has Microsoft AI Playground. Okay, actually I'm going to just type playground.microsoft, sorry about that, microsoft.ai. So this is the URL. And of course, you can log in with your own Microsoft account, and there you go. So right now it is still very limited. As you can see on the left side, there are only 2 models, actually only one model, which is the Microsoft AI Image 2. The other model, which is the voice model, is not yet available, so I have to wait. So yeah, the UI is very simple, and well, I could imagine that this is going to be the place where Microsoft is going to show off their AI models in the near future. Okay, as you can see, I can start using the image to model, and you can describe the picture that you want to generate. Now, for example, here I'm going to just copy and paste a prompt. This is a prompt for creating a product packaging photo. Okay, that's going to be my prompt, and send the message. Now, I think you might have noticed that this interface is so simple. There aren't many things that you can do, and you'll be correct because it is still in the very early version. And also, this model, even though this is their second iteration, apparently, as far as I know, it doesn't have image editing capability. That's why there is no option for me to upload an image or edit an image. It is not possible, and that is kind of strange because pretty much any new AI model, image AI model these days, can at least let you upload a picture and then use it as a reference or modify the picture. But somehow this model is yet to have that capability. And also, another thing that you need to know about this new model is that right now it is only able to generate a 1K image, which is basically 1024 by 1024 in resolution. It could have a different aspect ratio, but basically that's 1K picture. In comparison, Gemini Nano, which I believe the gold standard right now, is able to generate all the way to 4K pictures. So do not expect the highest quality or the sharpest image from this model, but I think you can expect a somewhat or reasonable realism from the picture that was created by this model. Okay, so this is the result, and I would say it looks pretty good. It looks quite realistic, assuming that we are ignoring the text. It is able to render text just fine, but if the text becoming too small, usually it's not able to render the text or every letter accurately. Now, I actually have other prompts that I'm going to try. So I'm going to try these prompts, and I will also compare them with Gemini Nano. So I'll just skip a lot and I'll show you the final comparisons between Microsoft AI Image 2 and Gemini Nano 2. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, so finally it is done, and this is basically the side-by-side comparison between the Microsoft AI Image 2 model versus Gemini Nano 2 from Google. So this is the first prompt. This is for creating a product packaging, and I would say both images look great. I like the Microsoft version a little bit, but yeah, if you look closely on the text, it's basically just some gibberish, whereas on Gemini Nano it is a bit more refined, although it still suffers from some problem when they're rendering some very tiny text. But overall, I would say the text quality and detail on Gemini seems to be better. So I just like the color on the Microsoft, but the detail for Gemini is still winning. Now, the next picture that I'm trying to create is a mobile phone app mockup. This is supposed to be a deep sleep helper app for iPhone, and this is the result. So the Microsoft version seems to be simpler, and it is able to render some text, although if you look closely at this particular word, it is not immaculate. Yeah, this is not readable, whereas on Gemini, it seems to be perfect. I don't see any mistake, and oh, actually there is one mistake. This is supposed to be the eye, but there should only be one eye, and yet we have two eyes. But other than that, I think the visual seems to be more detailed and engaging than Microsoft. Okay, so the next picture that I'm trying to create is this one. So I'm trying to create a cinematic portrait of person, and I can feel that Microsoft seems to be more cinematic than Google, than Gemini. Of course, Gemini is still more detailed, but Microsoft here, I feel like the 5 here is just way better than Gemini. That's just my opinion. Of course, it is not as detailed, but the goal here is trying to make the atmosphere to be more cinematic and almost movie-like. So I would say the winner here is Microsoft. And the next picture is a poster. So this is another task to see if the model can render text really well. And yep, we got the result here. So Microsoft seems to be okay, but honestly, I like the result from Gemini a lot more. It is, again, more detailed, and it could come across as a real poster, even though it wasn't. And yeah, I would say the winner here is Gemini, and this is a test for infographics. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, this is infographics. Yeah, we can see that there is indeed a limitation in the Microsoft AI Image 2 model. This model is just not really well, not very good at rendering text, and you can see right away there are many mistakes in the text rendering. So do not expect to get reliable result when trying to create a poster or social media post using this model. I think just stick with Gemini because the text rendering is just way more reliable and better here, although it is not always perfect. So always double check before posting the content that was created by AI. And lastly, I'm trying to create a sort of typographic logo illustration, and this is supposed to be representing cat. It should be red cat, and I think both models seems to be doing a great job at creating the logo. I think it looks great. I couldn't tell which one looks better because I can see that there is a visual or icon or the silhouette of a cat, and there's also the text that says it's a cat. So both pictures looks great, and I like Microsoft a little bit more, but here in Gemini it seems to be a little bit more readable. So I think both images are great. So it is not as good as Gemini. It is definitely not going to be beating Gemini Nano 2, but it is a good step forward for Microsoft, especially that they have the hardware, they have the talent, they have the technology. I think it will only get better over time. And by the way, if you are interested, I'm going to put these cool prompts in the description down below, so you can try them perhaps to generate some cool images, maybe using the Microsoft model or perhaps using Gemini Nano. So that's really cool. And another thing that's also cool is the video up right here. So click on that and I'll see you there.